Hey guys, Crypto Sunday, and we're back to green. Just the one red week, but I did actually put my cash in at long last. About £6,000 in the end. That's sort of pretty much everything that I have now, considering I sort of put all of the rest of my cash in the ISA, so can't take that out and buy real crypto. So I'm pretty much all in now, and yeah, so 6,000 added from last week, and then a £20,000 gain. So we're up to 172 nearly. With yeah, I've got a few hundred quid sort of not included here. So rather nice. I'll come back to what I bought in a bit. Just a reminder to sort of stay vigilant, even though we think we're sort of into getting into a new bull market. Blockchain.com still have a $270 million hole from investing in Three Arrows Capital, or sort of lending money to Three Arrows Capital. And yeah, they've sort of, they have an exchange and they have a non-custodial wallet, so funds should be safe in there. They're not able to sort of spend those funds like FTX were, but maybe if you had money on there or have money on there in the exchange, in the sort of custodial wallets, then I don't know, there could be an issue. But yeah, I always say self custody is the best. So yeah, be wary of that. We are getting more and more regulation coming in from the US, certainly, and potentially now the UK. So it's not the sort of in advance regulation that we would really want to give people sort of clarity on things. It's more sort of wait for things to break and people to lose money and then sort of go after the bad guys, which is sort of lazy and not really with the sort of investors' best interests at heart, which is what they're supposed to do. You would think they would sort of put some rules in, even some basic rules, and enforce them sort of before the event. A lot of people obviously criticise the SEC for having meetings with FTX and sort of being quite in with them and not spotting anything to do with the sort of criminal activity there. But yeah, the SEC announced their charges towards Kraken, which they settled with. The Wall Street Journal have said the SEC plans to sue Paxos over the Binance USD token. And on Thursday, they filed a suit against Terraform Labs for Terra USD. So good luck getting Mr. Do Kwon. I believe he's sort of in a cave somewhere. But yeah, they're going after them. And the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK has sort of flagged 51 unregistered crypto companies serving clients in the UK and have yet to take action. But they're sort of potentially gearing up to do so. Whether this is sort of, again, punishment for what you've done in the past rather than sort of actually telling them what they could have done in good time. We do seem to be in this sort of two-sided attitude in the UK at the moment, with sort of government saying that they want to be, you know, a hub for everything crypto to come to the UK, and then we're sort of going after everyone and his brother, it seems like. 300 crypto firms applied to register with the regulator. Only 41 actually managed to get through. The rest were refused a license following a full assessment, rejected before the full assessment was conducted, or withdrew their applications. So again, maybe this was in the past and they now, if they were to do it now, would be more friendly, but yeah, just doesn't seem sort of the place that you would want to be, and you can see why companies are going to Dubai and Malta and all manner of countries, Singapore I think as well. But yeah, we'll see what comes of this. So Mr. P was asking about sell targets in last week's video. Obviously we're not there yet, and it's probably a little bit too early to be thinking about that sort of thing. I don't like to get too excited right away, but it's always good to sort of put plans in place and think ahead. And this was sort of really my rough plan from last time, really, and we just sort of stopped slightly short of it. I was always sort of planning to start sort of cashing out some Bitcoin at least at $70,000, and we sort of stopped just shy of that, which was annoying, and sort of layering out a little bit more at 85 and then 100, sort of holding a little bit back, maybe sort of 10% of the portfolio or something for the moonshot, as I call it, or just sort of partly in case it just goes absolutely bananas and I wouldn't sort of want to miss out on that, but also just for a little bit of sort of diversification, really. Sort of would mean I wouldn't be 100% in stocks then, which would be sort of basically what I would carry on selling this cash, or putting this cash that I've took profits on into. But yeah, I'm sort of kind of thinking I would still stick broadly with this, sort of where we are, 70k or so. 75k would be a 3x from where we are here to sort of start cashing some out. Seems sort of a reasonable point, and sort of certainly cashing out a reasonable amount at 85 to 100k would be sort of, it suits me quite well in terms of sort of financial independence numbers and sort of retirement. So yeah, it's not necessarily a target for everyone, but yeah, you've got to have sort of personal goals, really, what you're looking to get out of it, and sort of still hold the maybe 10%. Sort of, as I say, it's difficult to sort of sit here now and say what you're going to do in, a year and a half, 2 years, especially when we, if we get to sort of 85, 100,000, I'm sure we're all going to be thinking differently and plans go out the window and you sort of think, what could we get to? But yeah, it's certainly good to set at least some plans in place now. And sort of thinking on altcoins as well, you'd always sort of expect these to outperform Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does really well, nice to have Bitcoin for the safety, but if sort of things like Ethereum were to outperform, so say 75k, sort of talking 3x gain from here on Bitcoin, you could expect Ethereum maybe to do 4.5x. So potentially, sort of sell targets. First sell target for Ethereum could be not that 4.5 by 1691. So depending on where Ethereum is, you could see it at maybe $7,500, and sort of that could be a potential sort of first sell target if we were to sort of get to those levels on Bitcoin. It could even do sort of really, really well and double what Bitcoin does, and you could be looking at 10,000. But yeah, we'll have to sort of see when we get there, and sort of that would lead itself to, $10,000, $15,000 Ethereum as sort of a cash out with, hold a little bit back for the moonshot. So yeah, that's my sort of thinking around sell targets, really. As I say, it's sort of, I do see it as a very personal thing. It's sort of, if you want to hold on for a bit longer or you want to take profits a bit sooner, you might want to sort of, if you're buying around here, take profits at sort of 50,000, being 100% up. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's a personal thing, really. I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers sort of creating models and sort of back testing models that are a little bit more cautious and sort of looking to potentially take out, 20% of your holding, sort of at certain percentages up, and sort of using indicators that would sort of indicate we're oversold and that sort of thing, and sort of maybe dialing those back a little bit. I think people were using those in the last bull run, and it was sort of showing, that we weren't at the top yet, sort of nowhere near at the top, and they were showing still sort of 100k plus. So I think people are sort of dialing those back, really, or sort of keeping them as they are, but maybe starting to cash out before we get to those sort of oversold levels, and maybe just sort of being a little more cautious. So yeah, it's different models sort of people on YouTube will have. So just looking at the coins for the week, it's obviously been a rather good week. Bitcoin up 13%, Ethereum up 10.8%. Didn't really look to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. I sort of keep saying, people do ask if I would be topping them up, and obviously buying such a long time ago sort of just complicates the tax, and sort of in the bear market, certainly did this in 2018 and 2019, sort of bought some at the lows, like Cardano. I think that was sort of 3 or 4 pence, and it went up like 40x from there. So yeah, I kind of think even sort of still being close to the bear market lows, I would do the same again. So no Bitcoin nor Ethereum, but Solana 12.6%. I did put another £1,000 into Solana on the bonfire, as we say. So it brings me down to 54% down. Obviously, it's sort of clawed a little bit back since the lows, and sort of averaging down. My average was sort of 90 odd pound before, I think, now £43. Cardano is 10% for the week. Didn't fancy buying any of that. Chainlink 17% up, and I did put in £1,000 into that. Do like Chainlink. So I guess it was flat basically last week. It's 17% up on the week, and I'm up 17%. So that's done reasonably well. Polygon 21% up. I didn't buy any of that. Wasn't really looking to add to that at all. Audius 25% up, pretty good. And I did put £500 into Audius. Gala, only up 5.6% on Gala. It's been sort of up and down, very much up and down recently. I didn't add to that. Ripple XRP 2.8%. It's really not going anywhere until the lawsuit is sorted out. But sort of being, as it's not gone up particularly, I thought I would put £500 into that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Quant Network 4.45%, not sort of a huge move, but I did put £500 into Quant, I think it was. Power Ledger 7.55% on the week, and I put 500 into that. Basic Attention Token 14% up, but I didn't add to that. Internet Computer, I have bought back my the majority of my stake. I think that's around about what I had, maybe about 280, and yeah, that's up a reasonable amount. It's still showing a loss for me because I count what I did buy before, but yeah, doing quite well. I put £1,000 into that on Monday, and it's up 40%, so not bad for the week. And VeChain, a new position, £1,000, and yeah, that's up 18%, or I'm up 25% actually, but it's up 18% for the week. So yeah, new position. I did quite like what they're doing. They seem to get some sort of reasonable amount of adoption, sort of as a supply chain coin. They're actually being used by Walmart in China, and sort of they've been doing a reasonable amount of business. Sort of spikes up at times and isn't always being used, but when it spikes up, they seem to be getting a hell of a lot of transactions. So yeah, that's the buys for the week, and yeah, a very nice week overall. So leave your thoughts in comments below if you've been buying anything, or if there's anything you're keeping an eye on, or certainly what your sell targets and plans are, and like and subscribe. See you soon.